Hi guys, it's me again for the second of today's videos. As now we're on Sierra Leone, as the name dates back to 1462 when Portuguese explorer Pedro de Sintra discovered the Peninsula Mountains as he sailed down the coast of West Africa. And some say he named them Sierra Leone, which translates to Lion Mountains in Portuguese, because of the roar of thunder rolling over the mountains that sounded like a lion. Others say it is because of their shape, which resembled a crouching lion. Anyway, the name stuck, as an English sailor later changed the name to Sierra Leone, and from there it became Sierra Leone. And prior to this, tribes from the African interior settled the virgin forests, where they would be protected by the mountains on one side and the sea on the other, and they probably the ancestors of the Limbas, one of the oldest ethnic groups in Sierra Leone, as the coastal Belom, Shireba, Temne, the Mande-speaking people including the Vai, Loco and Mende. After Pedro de Sinatra's discovery, foreign influence in the area increased and trade commenced between the locals and Europeans in the form of a barter system. As the British began to take interest in Sierra Leone in 1672, the Royal African Company established trading forts on the islands of Bruce and York, was the emergence of the slave trade. Human trafficking became a major commodity in the area as the indigenous population was sold as slaves, as bunts. Islands became a prime spot for transporting slaves to Europe and America, and through the efforts of philanthropists, Britain abolished slavery and a naval base was established in Freetown to intercept slave ships. As Freetown became a settlement for freed slaves in 1787 and was called the Province of Freedom. And by 1792, 1,200 freed slaves from Nova Scotia and a large number from Maroon in the 1800s joined the original settlers from England. In 1808, the area of Freetown officially became a British Crown colony, and trade commenced between the indigenous and the settlers, as it paved the way for the British to extend their rule into the outer provinces, and in 1896 a protectorate was declared. As during British colonialism, Sierra Leone served as seat of government for other British colonies along the West African coast. As for Bay College was established in 1822 and was the first college for higher education south of the Sahara, as English-speaking Africans flocked there, and it quickly earned Sierra Leone the title of Athens of West Africa for its early achievements in the field of medicine, law and education. And during their colonial history, Sierra Leoneans mounted several unsuccessful revolts against the British rule, but they finally gained independence on the 27th of April 1961, until their under the leadership of the first Prime Minister, Sir Milton Marigai. The newly independent nation adopted a parliamentary system of government, later becoming a republic in 1971. But in 1991, civil war broke out, and they kind of entered their darkest decade in their recent history. But peace was restored in 2002. Since then, the country has blossomed, and Sierra Leone is on the fast track to development, with a multi-party democracy, and has hailed one of the safest countries in West Africa, supposedly. May have changed since the article got the information from. Now, Sierra Leone is a country in Western Africa, with there are different ethnicities, as Guinea borders a nation to the northeast, Liberia to the southeast, and to the southwest the Atlantic Ocean. As Sierra Leone has a moderately small number of languages compared to other African countries like Ghana and Nigeria, as these languages are predominantly spoken in the different provinces, and there exist 23 languages that are used in Sierra Leone in nearly all districts and regions of the nation, as there are about 23 different languages that are used, although there are many different communities that have their own native languages or various variations of the languages which is predominantly used for communication. And as English is an official language of Sierra Leone and was brought to the country by the British, but it is mainly used for formal business, governmental and media purposes. As Freetown is the capital of Sierra Leone and was established as the home of freed slaves from Nova Scotia, Jamaica and America. They were all English speaking, and many captured slaves in the Atlantic were brought and set free in Sierra Leone, although most did not understand English, as Creole is a de facto language of the de facto national language of the country, and the lingua franca spoken widely across the country. It is a Creole language based upon English, and the mother tongue of about 10.5% of the residents, and spoken by about 95% of the population, and is a form of Pidgin English, which is a blend of African words including Temne, Mende, and various other local dialects. As a Creole language is a unifying factor and the primary language of communication, used by different ethnic groups and in the country and abroad. And although Creole is widely used across the country, it has no official status within Sierra Leone. And there are other languages that are used within the country, like Mende, Temne, and Nimba is the second widely used language in the country after Creole is the Mende language, which is approximately 29.5% of the population as speakers, and the mother tongue as the mother tongue and lingua franca in Sierra Leone has 37% of the Temne as a mother tongue, and that is also a main language of northern Sierra Leone. As some other regions of the capital and western area also use Temne, and other languages used by Sierra Leone include Kono, Koranko, Kissi, Fula, Lumba and Susi. Then there's also Bengali, as the West African, as they declared as Bengali as an official language, as the move was a recognition of the contribution of the Bangladeshi peacekeeping forces during the country's civil war, as the Bangladeshi forces, which constituted the largest part of the UN mission, played a significant role in the fighting, and the rebels during the civil war, which lasted from 1991 to 2002. But the inhabitants of the nation do not use the language, and it's just an honorary status for the language. And during the colonial period, the use of Kiro was discouraged by the colonialists. However, after independence from Britain in 1961, educators and writers started campaigning to promote the language, as some of Shakespeare's plays were translated into Kiro by Thomas Becker, and he also composed poetry in the language. As the New Testament Bible was also translated into Creole in the 1980s, and in school, 1990s, the Ministry of Education started using Creole as a medium of instruction in some primary schools in Freetown, as usually politicians give their speeches in the Creole language, and a different radio station broadcasts their programs in Creole as well. As there are also some minority languages that are facing extinction in Sierra Leone, which has been a major concern, as languages such as Crimbom and Sherbro spoken only in Sierra Leone, as the languages have features that are not found in other languages, which as those languages are also almost extinct. Sorry, I was rushing it a little bit. I have a bath going on downstairs, being the only one in the house at the moment, so yeah. Bye for now, and I'll see you later.